Alright, welcome back, and in this video I'm going to be ranking every single Poppy Playtime antagonist based on how sad their backstory is. So I gathered a bunch of popular Poppy Playtime characters that have a pretty deep lore and backstory, and I'm just going to be ranking them based on how sad their backstory is. So let's just get straight into this. So first off, we have the prototype, and the prototype is actually a really interesting backstory because it really depends on how you look at it, because the prototype was originally a injured orphan who was offered a better place because he had a very hard life. And then when the orphan actually entered the Playtime Co factory, he actually found out that Elliot Ludwig, who offered to help him, didn't actually want to help him. He just wanted to experimentate on him. And the orphan really didn't like that. Eventually, when he became the prototype and he actually realized that it was only for the experiment and not for his sake, he tried getting revenge and he was really mad, but was ultimately calmed down by Elliot Ludwig. Now later on, he did cause the Hour of Joy, so he did get revenge. That is where the sad backstory starts, because technically the prototype, he didn't really deserve it, right? It's a really tragic backstory. He really thought that he would get a better place and he would just have a better life, but he didn't. I'm just gonna put the prototype at tragic. I think his backstory is pretty tragic. Now next off, we have Dr. Harley Sawyer, or just the doctor. And Harley Sawyer actually, before he became Harley Sawyer, he was, if I remember correctly, one of the workers with Elliot Ludwig. I think he was the person that made the Bigger Bodies experiment. He was the scientist behind it. Now, that is very bad to start off if we're talking about backstory here, but he was actually a very egoistical character. He was a very aggressive and egoistical character. He really didn't care about anyone. He just wanted to get his job done and just get his money. He was a very bad person. Now, where the sad part begins in his story is that Dr. Harley Sawyer, after the prototype took over, he was actually turned into one of the experiments, and he was actually the one being experimented on. So he actually got a taste of his own medicine from the people who he literally created. Now that is a very tragic backstory, but the thing is, he kinda deserved it, because he was just a very bad person in general. So I'm just gonna put him in, he deserved it. This guy is a very bad guy. Now next off, we have Boxy Boo. Now Boxy Boo, there's not much known about Boxy Boo, if we're talking about backstory, like who he was, but what we do know is that he is a very violent toy, and he was known for being one giant killing machine. Like, this dude would just like straight up kill people. Like, he would literally, like a grizzly bear, he would just start eating them and they will just die. Like, bro, there's a clip of him. I'll try to look if I'll find a clip. There's a clip of him literally eating someone in 1 second and they are gone. So this guy is a very bad toy. Now, we don't know much about his backstory, but judging by that he did participate in the Hour of Joy and killed a lot of people and tried to kill a lot of people, I'm just gonna put this guy at he deserved it, because honestly, he did deserve to die. If you guys didn't know, he participated in a war between the toys, and in that war, he actually died, which is confirmed. So that means that Boxy Boo did suffer his own causes, because his own aggressiveness actually caused him to die. Now, next off, we have Catnap. And well, Catnap is a story that I've talked about before on this channel. He is a very sad story. There's a lot of VHS tapes on him, and this guy really couldn't get a break. I mean, this kid, the orphan behind this really didn't deserve this. I mean, he was a silent guy, and he actually had an imaginary friend. Now, this imaginary friend turned out to be the prototype, and the prototype did give him a lot of orders to do stuff for him, which eventually, after he withstanded the brutal conditioning that he did, which took him months and months, eventually the prototype took him over, because Catnap actually believed that the prototype was a true hero and that he saved him. Now that is very delusional if you're going to ask me, but honestly this kid really didn't deserve this, because there is just clips of this guy just absolutely losing it after going through reconditioning. And you know, this guy, I think it's a really depressing story, because you know, this guy really just couldn't get a break. Like, he had the conditioning. He constantly was bothered by the prototype trying to mess up Playtime Co. After that, he went like 8 months through brutal conditioning, and after that, he was completely ruled by the prototype. Even if it hurted Catnap himself, he was completely blind under the influence of the prototype. Now, this guy goes in depressing. I think this story is really sad. Now, Huggy Wuggy is also a pretty bad story as well, but I don't know if it is more sad than Catnap. Now let me explain real quick. Huggy Wuggy is the main character, and he actually served as a guard for Playtime Co. Well, Huggy Wuggy went through really brutal conditioning. You can actually see this in Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 with the memories that you can watch later on in the game. You can actually see how Huggy Wuggy went through this, and it's pretty brutal. I mean, he got pretty mad pretty frequently. There's a lot of VHS tapes on him, but honestly the most sad part about his story, in my opinion, is the fact that he tried to commit suicide in conditioning, which just indicates that this conditioning for him was so bad that he just actually didn't want to live through it anymore and tried to end it. Now that is a very bad story. I think that is really sad. I don't think it's tragic. I just think Huggy Wuggy's story is really sad because he really didn't deserve it. And honestly, the fact that he tried to unalive himself really just puts in perspective how bad conditioning really was, especially for Huggy. Well, Lily Lovebraids, I mean, guys, if you clicked on this video, you probably play Poppy Playtime. You probably know Lily Lovebraids, bro. Lily Lovebraids, she just deserved it. I'm just gonna explain it real quick, just in case you didn't know. But Lily Lovebraids is the literal person that made the conditioning. Now, if you listen to what I literally just said, that means that this single person right here is the reason that all of these characters have been suffering so far. Now, that's really bad. And she really did deserve it, because Lily Lovebraids, after the Hour of Joy, got put in a giant dollhouse, and she also went through conditioning herself, which was actually so bad that she completely forgot who she was before. So she genuinely doesn't even know what she did to the toys. And even though that, the prototype will never ever trust her. But besides that, she really did deserve that fate. She's just been in there for forever, and somewhere later in the game, she actually dies. So she really did deserve to die, to be honest, because like, bro, this is such a bad person. This is just, no, she deserved it. Now, the next character is Poppy. And well, Poppy is another one of like the main characters in the game, but Poppy's story really struck me, because after I did some research, I just decided to include her. Even though she isn't an antagonist necessarily, I just find her story to be really compelling, because Poppy was actually the daughter of Elliot Ludwig. Now, fun fact, the reason the bigger bodies and the toys that live were created in the first place is because the daughter of Elliot Ludwig died. That is why Poppy exists. Poppy is one of the first ever toys to be created by Playtime Co. And the only reason they did that is because the father just had so much heartbreak of losing his daughter that he just wanted her back. And he just started experimenting, and you might think, well, that's a really happy story. He got his daughter back. Well, no, because let me explain. Poppy didn't want to be alive in that period. Like, she had died, but after trying to get her back to life, there's multiple clues in the game where you can see that she is going through agony. She is going through pure pain because they were trying to get her back to life. Now, in the surgeries, she looks unconscious, but she is fully conscious, feeling everything. She was literally screaming to let me out because it was so bad. Now, that is a really tragic story, because she really couldn't do anything about it. Like, the fact that she died, she really couldn't do anything about that. The fact that her dad had so much heartbreak, he wanted to get her back, she couldn't do anything about it. It's a really tragic story of Poppy. I also feel really bad for her, but to be fair, in the game, she doesn't really seem to be that depressed or mentally broken, but it's still a very tragic backstory. The next character is Mommy Longlegs, and you might wonder, why did I include Mommy Longlegs in this list? Because she is crazy. Now, the reason I did is because when Mommy Longlegs was actually created, she has a very motherly mind, which means that she really wants to take care of the orphans. Now, that is a really good thing. She really had a good bond with the orphans, if I remember correctly. The only part is that the orphans were never meant to stay. The orphans were ultimately meant to be experimented on. Now, Mommy Longlegs had to watch all of the orphans she bonded with die over and over and over again, which actually made her crazy, to the part where she is in chapter 2, that she just wants to kill everyone because she just has to watch all of these kids die over and over again. Now, that is a very tragic story as well, but honestly, the fact that this went on for so long, I think this goes into depressing tier, because she really just couldn't do anything about it. Like, she just had to watch those kids, and like, it was her goal to be a mother figure. Also, fun fact, when she was actually created, it was also really painful for the orphan, because the stretch, like the new stretch technology that they made for her was really painful to be made and to be put in, because it stretched out their flesh. So it's a really depressing story. And the next character is actually Kissy Missy. Now, Kissy Missy is also a really sad backstory, because she is a really kind character. Unlike the other bigger bodies, she is really kind. She wants to protect the players, she wants to protect everyone from the prototype. Now, this goes to the point where she actually gets hurt trying to protect the player, which is also really sad. She gets burned, she just gets absolutely messed up. But to be fair, Kissy Missy was actually a former staff member of Playtime Co. I don't know much about the former staff member, but I do know that I think he was caught on something and then turned into experiment. So to be fair, he probably didn't really deserve it, but since Kissy is such a good person, I feel like I'm just gonna put it in sad tier, because it's still a really sad backstory, since she really just, wants to protect everyone from the prototype. Okay, well, the next character is Giblet. Now, Giblet is also not an antagonist, but I felt like his backstory was just so compelling that I just wanted to include it in this list. So let me explain real quick. Giblet was actually a toy made to entertain the kids and made to make them feel home. So Giblet was actually a really good toy before the Hour of Joy. Now, the only problem arises is that Giblet didn't look like this before the Hour of Joy. He was actually turned into a wrong side animal forcefully by the prototype. Now, that's really sad, because when that actually happened to Giblet, all the kids, now we can actually see in the game when we meet Giblet that he really misses his old look, which is really sad, because when you go to the back of his little room, there's actually a little voice line. Take a listen.
It's nothing. That's just a piece of trash I found. Just look. No way you're getting around without a rat pack. You should head to the boilers.
And yeah, this voice line just really indicates that he just misses his old self. And I mean, he didn't really, it's not tragic because he didn't die. He's still like happy and living throughout. It's not optimal, but it's still doable for him. So it's just a sad backstory, but still, I just wanted to include it in this list because it is not an ordinary backstory. Now, Dog Day is just depressing. Dog Day honestly is the saddest backstory from a game character in a while. Like, not of all time, but in a while. Like, Dog Day, I actually made a video on this. You can click here if you want to watch it. But honestly, Dog Day really just struck me, because when I first found out about his backstory, it kind of shocked me. Because Dog Day was actually one of the smiling critters. Now, unlike Catnap, Dog Day was the exact opposite. Now, Dog Day didn't want to live under a prototype and actually tried to save and hide the other smiling critters and tried to rebel against the prototype. Now, the prototype didn't really like that, so he sent Catnap after him, in which he eventually actually succeeded. Now, this is where the sad part starts. Dog Day was not killed. He wasn't tortured. No, he was cut in half, hung up in a prison cell, and forced to watch his own people that he tried desperately to save and to hide from the prototype all die. This guy really had to suffer through his own failure, which is really sad. I'm gonna put this guy in tragic, because honestly, Dog Day really didn't deserve this, man. Like, this guy, really sad backstory. Now, the next character is Yarnaby. Now, Yarnaby is a really sad backstory because Dr. Sawyer actually lied him into becoming bigger body. Now, let me explain. Yarnaby first was a really quiet but very intelligent orphan, and Dr. Sawyer actually saw his potential, so he actually misled the orphan into passing every test into becoming a bigger body, only to be put in the Yarnaby body and to suffer through being a toy and eventually actually burning to death. This guy, really sad story. I'm just gonna put this guy in sad. I don't know much more about him, other than that he was misled into becoming a toy, so he really didn't deserve it. So this guy just goes in sad. PJ Pocketpiller is also not really that much known about canon-wise, but I do know that he did willingly partake in the Hour of Joy. So honestly, I don't know what this guy's backstory is, but I think he deserved whatever happened to him. Well, what did happen to him is that he is now forever stuck in that freaking ball pit. Like, he is still down there, going in rounds in an endless cycle. So he did deserve that. Like, this guy willingly tried to kill hundreds of people. Just no. And the reason I saved Doey, the Doe Man, the last, is because this man has the saddest story of this entire list. Now, you might find that weird, but let me explain. Doey the Doe Man is 3 kids in one toy, which have 3 different mindsets as well, which makes it that he constantly switches between the mindset. But the only problem with that is that the mindsets don't really work with each other, which makes it that Doey the Doe Man is in a constant state of agony of having to fight through his own emotions and other mindsets and other people in his body. Now, that is already really bad, because he has a kind side, he has an angry side. Very sad, but fun fact, Doey the Doe Man was actually meant to be 2 kids in one and not 3, because one of the kids actually accidentally fell into a poppy vat and then accidentally became part of the experiment. Now, this guy just fell in there and accidentally killed himself, got him into this predicament, and now has to sit through there every single day. Now, I don't know if Doey the Doe Man is still alive. I haven't really watched chapter 4 that much, but this guy's story is really depressing. Now, I am noticing now that no story in this tier list is happy, but that doesn't matter. Guys, this concludes my list. Let me know what you guys think about it. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I think these 3 are the most depressing stories, tragic stories. I just think these are really sad stories. I just wanted to make this list because I feel like not that many people talk about this. But anyway, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and only you guys can make that happen. I'm also about to get monetized, so make sure to watch these videos right here. And shout out to these random subscribers, and see you.